Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We're doing our unit on how to talk about job performance. We're about halfway through our unit, and today we're going to be continuing with key expressions for doing a job appraisal. What sort of things do you need to say to appraise someone, to evaluate their performance? How can you be diplomatic? How can you appraise yourself and be objective? We're going to look at the language to do all of that and more in just a moment. By the way, before we begin, here's a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour, and I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out from Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate in my class. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means, there you go, don't forget to turn off your microphone if you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words when you are speaking. Use them actively so that I can give you corrections. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is all you need to know about me. Now I want to know about you. Let's see if I can get my face back on screen. My big ugly face. Uh-oh. You can't see my name. Can you see my name now? There we go. Now it's perfect. Well, not perfect, but as good as it gets. Giuseppe. How I've missed you, Giuseppe. Where have you been?
Hello, teacher John.
Giuseppe, my life has not been the same. It's been so long.
Me too.
Where have you been, Giuseppe?
I got busy, sorry.
Oh, no.
A couple of things to do, and then...
Does that mean that you are now living in Dresden and employed as a... whatever it is you do that I forgot? I forgot what you do. You've told me 100 times.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a change of the plan, which means that in Dresden I won't be in Dresden. Because they are the chosen German guys because the
language.
Because of the language, yes. Because all the systems where I should work, where I should have been work, is in German language, and there was no time to start and get fluent in German, you know.
Right. So,
but I will leave the company in 2 months, and I will go to Germany in other parts.
Well, if you want to learn German, I have material that you could use to learn quickly. I can show you how it works. Obviously, to be fluent, you have to be speaking and interacting. But just to get the basics, I have some good material that might help you. So,
if you share, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, and I'll show you how to use it. It's pretty easy. Just to get the basics down really quickly, and then you can build on the basics. Yeah, I started to learn too, but again, like everything, I have no time to practice, and so what can I do? But I can show you how it works anyway. Let's say hello to, let's see, Alessia is back. Nice to see you, Alessia. Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
You know, I couldn't be better. And you?
Fine.
Good. And let's see who else we have. We have Yuki, and we have Kwang.
John, as a lover of science fiction, I was very ashamed. I forget her name. Lu Guin is the author of masterpiece, The Left Hand of Darkness, isn't it? Yeah?
I don't know her. I don't know her. You have to ask my wife. She's the one who recommended it.
I recommend it very much. It is very just amazing work.
The left
The
hand.
left hand of darkness.
Ah, unfortunately, I'm ignorant because
Yeah,
I didn't even know the name
it
until
was to
yesterday.
read once for your life.
The left hand of darkness.
Yes, it's Hugo Award.
Le Guin, left hand of darkness.
She received the Hugo Award. Hugo
Okay.
Award
I will.
for this work.
I will check it out. By the way, everyone, he's talking about the class last hour. Just so you know, we were reading short stories. So he's talking about Ursula Le Guin. We were reading a short story by her. Just so you know.
I didn't even know that until yesterday.
Once for your life.
What happened? What's going on? Oh, sorry, I'm hearing an echo. Let's say hello to some new faces too. Jose, how are you?
Thank you so much. And you? I'm fine.
Good. Jose, I don't recognize that picture, so I'm not sure that we've met, because that picture looks new, so maybe you haven't been in the class before. Either that or you changed your picture, I'm not sure. Do I know you, Jose?
Yeah, this is the first time for me.
Ah, first time, okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
From Saudi Arabia. Your
Yeah.
name is Jose, and you're from Saudi Arabia? Really?
No, it's just a nickname, because I cannot change my name in the email. I don't know why.
This is my friend Levi, by the way.
Wow.
So we're gonna, let's see if we can put him on screen.
Bigger friend.
Yeah. He's going to help. He's going to help us with our class today.
Yeah, with my rabbit.
Okay.
I think
I'm going to put him.
I think it has a good pronunciation.
I'm going to keep him in the background, but he's going to be watching and helping out, maybe in the chat window.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you said it's not Jose. What do I call you then?
Yep. You can call me Abdullah.
Abdullah. Okay, fine. Because I look at that and I think Jose and I think you're from Spain. Okay, Abdullah, from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And Ishmael. Let's say hello to Ishmael as well. Hello, Ishmael.
Hello, teacher. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm all right. Ishmael, are you the Ishmael that I used to know many months ago?
Yes,
Ah, you have a different picture.
I changed my picture.
You had the flowers on it before.
Yeah.
You had the tulips or something.
Yellow tulips.
I remember you. Okay. Where are you from? I can't remember. Where are you from?
I am connecting from Turkey.
You're in Turkey. Ah, okay. For some reason, I forgot that. I remember you. You were in my News for Noobs class. We were doing news together. I remember that.
Yes.
Is
Okay.
it the Bosphorus Bridge in the picture?
What bridge is that, Ishmael?
Is the Bosphorus Bridge?
Yes, Bosphorus Bridge. It
Yeah.
connect Asia with Europe.
Oh,
Yeah, I visit Turkey.
oh, there you go. We learned something
Very
new.
beautiful.
Very good. Very good. Well, listen, everyone. Here's what we're going to do. We've been working on this unit. We're about halfway through. If you haven't been to the other classes, it's not a problem. You can come and go as you like, because these are more for basically conversation classes. But we're focused on business English, and I try to give you a little bit of structure, too, so that you can use some key expressions in particular situations. But basically, these are conversation classes. Let me share the presentation with you on screen that we've been working on, just so you know what we've been doing. So we're talking about job performance. We've been talking about personal qualities, like someone who is hardworking, someone who is... We had a whole bunch of these. We looked at the adjective and noun forms of the words. Hardworking, dedicated, as opposed to dedication. There was a whole list of these, and we may review some of them in just a minute. We've moved on to the second part, appraising job performance and setting objectives. We're going to be looking at how to give feedback and how to tell the story of what you've been doing at work using the past continuous and present perfect, the I was doing form or the I have done form to talk about past events. And in this class, we're going to continue our focus on key expressions for appraising performance and setting goals. So, if I'm not mistaken, let me go forward here. Yesterday, we listened to a conversation. What we did was we listened to not a conversation, but we listened to an appraisal between two workers. This guy, Chris, who works in a factory, and his line manager. And we looked at the notes, which you can see on screen now. We looked at the notes that not the notes, but the questionnaire that he filled in, not notes. And we saw yesterday that his answers were not as good as they could have been. So we listened to the meeting that he had where he clarified this, and then I asked you to go back and to rewrite some of what he said. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen again to the conversation, because what I want you to do is pick out some of the key expressions that he used, and then we're going to use those key expressions to do an appraisal of our own. So what I'd like to do here, let me just move forward. Listen, yeah, our expressions were here. I sent this to you as a homework too, so some of you may have done this already, and if so, we'll go through it quickly. But let's listen again. This time, you're gonna try to pick out some of the key expressions by matching the phrases. So give me just a second for me to open my material on my computer, and later, if you like, I can give you a copy, I can give you a transcription of the audio. But for now, I want you just to use your ears as best you can. Okay? So listen carefully. Listen and do the matching, and then we'll go over the answers together. Here we go. So this is a meeting with the appraiser and Chris. The appraiser says, "Come on in, Chris, take a seat. Coffee?" Chris, "No, I'm okay, thanks." Appraiser, "Okay, now, I have the forms you filled in here." By the way, take a look at the forms while we're doing this. This is what he filled in. "I have the forms you filled in here. Thanks for getting them in on time. As you know, the main aim of this meeting is to appraise your performance and set some goals for the next 6 months. So, we'll begin by discussing your comments, and then we'll start setting some objectives. I'll also be adding a few notes on the form, okay?" Chris says, "Sure." Appraiser, "I would like to say before we begin that in general, we're very pleased with your performance. You seem to be doing very well." Chris, "Well, that's good to know." The appraiser says, "I know there had been a few problems at the other factory before you moved here, but in the last 6 months, I've received lots of good reports about all your hard work." Chris says, "Oh, good. That's nice to hear. I was finding it a little difficult when I first came here to work, but it's easier now." Appraiser, "Great. One thing I wanted to discuss with you was this on your form. You mentioned solving problems with machinery in number 3. You mentioned solving problems. Now, is this something that you like or dislike? And is it an area that you'd like to develop?" Chris says, "Yes, it's something I like. I like challenges." Appraiser, "Oh, good. So is there anything that you don't like about the job?" Chris, "No, not really." "No? Well, I think maybe we have too many meetings, and I like it when I'm given a job and can just get on with it." Appraiser, "How do you feel about working with other people?" Chris, "Well, it's okay, but I think I'm someone who likes working alone, and maybe I think that that's something I need to work on a bit. Yeah, maybe." Appraiser says, "Right, okay." And then the meeting continues from there. So, first, let's clarify what his answers should have been. In number 3, which parts of the job interest you the most and the least? He wrote solving problems with machinery, but that isn't clear. So yesterday in class we corrected it, and we said, in terms, well, I forget exactly how we put it, but I think it was something like, in terms of likes, I have a vested interest in solving problem with machinery. A vested interest. I think that was Eric who said that yesterday. But on the other hand, I really dislike meetings. I really prefer to be given a job and just get on with it independently. So as you can see, he could add a little bit of information and make the answer more clear. And the same for number 4. He said, the question is, how could your performance be improved? He wrote, just continue what I'm doing, but that's not clear. He could have said, although I'd like to continue what I'm doing and learn by doing, I can also see that I should work on being more of a team player because it's a skill that I feel that I need to develop. So in appraising himself, he's leaving out some key information and he's maybe not phrasing it as best he could. Okay, so that was a review of what we did yesterday. Now we're going to move on. What I'd like you to do then is to match some of the key expressions that he's used. So go through the list 1 to 7. You've got the answers A to G. And what I'd like to do is just go around and tell me which one you think sounds best. Okay? Starting with Yuki. If you're not sure, just say pass. But if you know it, say the whole sentence or say the whole phrase. In what, Yuki? In. So think about how the appraiser was structuring his speech, basically. How is he structuring it? In what? What's the matching term? What do you think?
In general.
In general, exactly. In general. And Kwang, we're very pleased with what? We're very pleased. How? Why? When? Where? What's the matching with we're very pleased? What do you think, Kwang?
We very pleased with the performance.
Absolutely. We're very pleased with your performance was exactly what he said. So again, these are all key expressions that you're going to be using to do an appraisal in a few minutes. And Abdullah, you seem to be, what did he say? You seem to be what?
Yeah. This is the difficult one.
Well,
maybe you seem to be to work on.
Well, the problem is you can't say to be to work because you've already got the to, so it doesn't match.
Maybe
so it can't be to work.
The first one, to be doing very well.
Exactly. You seem to be doing very well because he said you had difficulties in the previous factory, but here you seem to be doing well over the last 6 months. That's it. Exactly. And Ishmael, one thing I wanted, do you remember what he said? One thing I wanted.
One thing I wanted to discuss was.
One thing I wanted to discuss was the answer to question number 3. It wasn't clear. That's right. One thing I wanted to discuss was, and then he goes on to talk about what he likes and dislikes. That's right. And Giuseppe, it is an area that what?
You'd like to develop?
It is an area. Oh, I've read it wrong. I'm sorry. Is it an area you'd like to develop? Is correct, right? Because he talks about teamwork. Is it an area you'd like to develop? Very good. And Alessia, how do you feel?
I'm so sorry because today, close my house, there are workers and they make a lot of noise. So
you have to tell them to shut up.
Okay. Yeah, I open the window. I open the window.
Open the window and scream at them.
How do you feel about working with other people?
How do you feel about working with other people? That's exactly what he said. Is this a skill you'd like to develop? How do you feel about working with other people? That's it. And Yuki, finally, that's something I need. What?
That's something I need to work on.
Right. In other words, I need to improve it. I need to work on. Those answers are all correct. So I don't think we need to listen again. I think you got it. The answers are all correct. But here, we have the final part of his meeting. So listen to the final part of the meeting and answers questions 1 to 3. You're going to listen for the gist. The gist is the general idea, the gist, G-I-S-T. Listen for the gist. Here we go. Give me a second to... I got to keep opening things on my computer. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So it's 63. 62. Here we go, 63. This is pretty short. The final part of the meeting. The appraiser, remember the appraiser finished by saying, oh, Chris says, okay, I need to work on this. The appraiser says, right. Then he continues. So, let's summarize what we've agreed. You're interested in more technical training, so one thing I'm going to do is speak to the head of engineering about the possibilities. Chris, oh, that sounds good. Appraiser. And one thing you're going to do is look at the questionnaire I've given you on teams and team working. Is that okay? Chris, yeah, that's fine. Appraiser. Now, is there anything else you'd like to add? We've still got 5 minutes. Chris, no, I don't think so. I think that's fine. That was the exciting conclusion of the meeting. So my question is, how does Chris's manager, based on what you heard, how does Chris's manager signal that it is the end of the meeting? How does he let him know that it's time to end?
Let's summarize what we've agreed.
That's it. Let's summarize what we've agreed. And you also know, because there's a connector there. Connectors are words that link ideas together. The basic connectors are for and nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are the basic ones. We call those the fanboys. For and nor, but, or, yet, so. F is for, or. O is for or. For. What am I missing? For and, oh, F is for or, A is for N is for nor, B is for but, O is for or, Y is for yet, S is for so. So you can always remember the basic connectors. But these are also categories, and these categories of language help you structure what you want to say. Because so is also a conclusion. So any word that can be used to give a conclusion or summary is basically a so word, like therefore. And talks about addition. So any word that adds information is an and word, like not only but also, or I would also say, or as well. So these are really useful to think about how to categorize connective words. Here begins with so. So it immediately tells you that it's a conclusion, or that it's in the ending in some way. So that's another point to keep in mind, that it begins with so. So let's summarize. So let's to conclude. So to sum up. So in a nutshell, etc. Number 2, what have they agreed to do? What did they actually agree on? Based on what you heard, what did you get from it? Did they agree to take any action? Hello? Anyone? Hello?
Yeah, he was agree to make a questionnaire about the team.
To make or to do?
To do.
To do a questionnaire. Good. To do a questionnaire. You can also say, if you like, complete a questionnaire.
Complete. Yes.
But you can say do just as well, but not make. Make would be that you are the one creating it.
Yeah.
Right? So do a questionnaire. I'm going to write that in the chat window. Whoops, if I can spell it correctly. Do a questionnaire or complete. I'm putting in the chat window because I don't have my notes open right now, so I'll just put it there quickly. Absolutely, to do a questionnaire or to complete a questionnaire, And there was something else too. This guy had his performance appraised or evaluated, and they realized that there was something more that he needed to develop his professional skills. What were they going to do to help develop his professional skills? Did anyone catch it? What was the actual, besides the questionnaire to talk about teamwork, what was the actual skill development follow-up? There was a follow-up plan. What was the skill development follow-up plan that they talked about? Did anyone get it? Going once? Going twice? No one? Uh-oh. We better listen again. Listen a second time.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. The appraiser says, listen carefully. So, let's summarize what we've agreed. That's what Giuseppe was mentioning. Let's summarize what we've agreed. You're interested in more technical training, so one thing I'm going to do is speak to the head of engineering about the possibilities. Chris, that sounds good. Appraiser. And one thing you're going to do is look at the questionnaire I've given you on teams and team working. Is that okay with you? Chris, yes, that's fine. Appraiser. Now, is there anything else you'd like to add? We've still got 5 minutes. Chris, no, I don't think so. That's fine. So based on that listening, what was the follow-up to help him develop his professional skills? Was it clear? Want to venture and guess, Quang?
Yes.
Can I guess?
Or Ishmael?
Yes.
Say again?
Jon-Eric.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what was it? What was the plan? What was the action plan? What's the next thing they're going to do to help him develop his skills?
Maybe first look at the questionnaire and take the opinions from the questionnaire before.
Say that again. It's a little hard to hear you. One more time.
Yeah, in the first, collect their questionnaires, then get and combine the general opinion in the
That's true. And besides the questionnaires, there was one more thing they mentioned.
Yeah, the more thing. I don't get what's the second one.
Technical issue, yeah.
The technical part, yeah. What was that, Yuki? Did you catch it?
Yes.
Technical what? What they're going to do?
Technical. I don't remember.
Okay. Yes,
Chris,
Ishmael.
Chris, manager or planning to see head of engineer and to make.
Yeah, that's it.
For, getting a training maybe for Chris in technical.
That is correct. That's it. So the purpose of employee appraisal is not just to talk, it's to try to develop their skills. In this case, he's missing some skills. They found out what his interests were, and so they're going to follow it up with technical training. They agreed to arrange more technical training for Chris to be able to do the thing that he seems to be interested in excelling. He's going to talk to the head of engineering. That's it. That's it. That's exactly right. Last question. What 2 questions does Chris's manager ask to check that they agree, to check agreement? There were 2 times when Chris's manager asked him a question. I don't know if you remember the questions. They were short. But if you don't remember the exact words, that's okay. But do you remember more or less what the manager asked him? More or less. Anyone
Probably Chris manager asked to the employee if you have any questions left.
Yeah, he mentioned something like that at the end. He said, "We've still got 5 minutes left. Is there anything else you'd like to add?" Right? So he gives him the opportunity to have input or feedback at the end. And there was another question too. Earlier, he suggests the training in the questionnaire, and then he says, you're going to do this. Is that okay with you? Well, I think the point is it's not just to say whether it's okay, it's also to check that he understands. Chris seems a little slow. Look at his answers. He seems a little slow. He writes kind of simple answers and he doesn't really express himself very well. So Chris needs a little help. We want to help Chris. So asking is that okay is not really asking permission. It's really just to see if he's following along and getting things and that he really understands the situation. And apparently he does. So it's a slightly diplomatic way to ask the question. You wouldn't want to say, Chris, are you slow? Are you dumb? Because then that might be a little too direct. So he says, is that okay with you? Anyway, just to make sure that he's following along. You can use the same strategy. Maybe you think I'm slow. You can ask me, Jon-Eric, is that okay? And I'll be like, sure. Then you know that I'm following what you're saying. Hey, look at this. We're not done yet. Look at this tip in the bottom. So when I said about being diplomatic, well, maybe I could have, let's have, Abdullah, do you think you could read the tip for us in the bottom right? Speaking about being diplomatic.
Where, from where, please?
In the bottom right of the page. Can you see? Tip, being less direct.
Yeah, I can see it.
So why don't you read that for us?
Shall I read it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, tip, being less direct. You can use the past simple instead of the present simple to sound less direct, especially in sensitive situations. One thing I want to discuss is both the correct, but the first one is less direct.
Exactly. This is because in English, we don't have the imperfect tense. So we can substitute it like you have in the Latin language. So to be polite, we can use the past instead of the imperfect. Or we can use the past instead of would, could, or should. One thing I would like to discuss, so that's the polite form, but that is exactly the same as one thing I wanted to discuss. So that's another way of being diplomatic. One way is to ask a question like, as if you're asking permission, is that okay with you? Or is there anything else you'd like to add? Give the person a chance for some feedback. And another thing is substitute polite forms, which sound a little formal, like would, could, or should, substitute them with the simple past. So you heard a little bit about that in the dialogue that you just listened to. Okay. I want you to imagine that you have a performance review. Complete this form for your job. These are the same questions that you saw before, but I'd like you to answer them for yourself. You can do it orally, or if you like, you can take a minute and write them and put them in the chat window, whatever you prefer. But I'd like you to answer these for yourself. And of course, you can use, when discussing them, we're going to be using some of the key expressions that we just looked at. How long do you think it would take for you to fill these 4 questions out? If I give you about 2 minutes or so, do you think you'd be able to do it? Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So again, you can actually write them and paste them in the chat window. You can write them if you want, or just think about them, make a note or two, and just be able to explain them. Think back to some of our job performance vocabulary, like hardworking, dedicated, patient, caring, all of those words that we've done before. Okay? You can add them if you like. So I'll give you, let's say, 2 minutes, think about these, then we'll come together in a group and we'll compare answers. Okay? If there's any questions, just ask, but I'll wait for you. I'll give you 2 minutes starting now. Here we go. The clock is ticking. Okay, 1 more minute, and then we'll compare answers. Okay, 1 more minute. And while you're writing, I'm going to open our notes so maybe I can do some corrections and you can see them on screen. I'll open our notes document. All right. So let's see how far you got. Let's compare a few answers here. I see, Ishmael, you've posted some answers.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great, great. Well, why don't we start with you, because we've got your answers there on screen. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, great, great. So, Ishmael, have the last 6 months been good, bad, satisfactory, or why? Why don't you read your answer and then we'll talk about it.
I have been last 6 months good. I have been motivated and work as a team member.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's make one correction here. The corrections, I'm going to put our notes document on screen for a second here, if I can get my screen sharing to work. Because on the notes document, it's easier to make corrections. So here, let's go down to, I think it's page 4. Give me a second. I'm going to post your answers here and make corrections for everyone to see. Hang on just a second. Okay. Yeah, it's page 4. Let's see if it lets me work. You can see the vocabulary from the previous class is there. And what I'll do is make a class for today, for right now. Give me a second here. Let me just get rid of this yellow. It's kind of annoying. Okay. Okay, my computer's a little slow because of the Hangout, but let's post your answer here. Oh, no, it's not what I want to do. Sorry. Didn't copy right. Hold on. Let me try this again. Hold on. Give me a second to copy and paste. Copy. And hold on a second. Sorry, it's a little bit slow. Give it a second. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Suddenly, nothing's working. Give me just a second. Nope, I don't know. Something's wrong with my computer. I can't write on the document. Oh, wait, here it goes. Okay, you know what, Ishmael? I can't share my screen. Something's wrong. So I'm going to make a correction in the chat window whenever this works. Let me just turn off the screen sharing. Hold on a second, please. Sorry about that. Technical problem. Sorry.
If the computer always works, the software engineer don't have a job.
It's just because of the Hangout. I gotta, if I share my screen, everything gets kind of,
now.
Yeah, but it'll take a second. Almost there. the trick, hold on. If I download something and then turn it off, it usually fixes the problem. Give me a second. Sorry for the delay. Sorry. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Ishmael, while I'm waiting for this to work, I will make a correction here in the chat window. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to share my screen. It does not work. And then everyone gets scared and they leave. We lost Abdullah. We lost Yuki. Everyone got scared away. Come back, everyone. All right. So let me make this correction here for you. I have been last 6 months good. The problem there is the placement of good. I have been, instead of good, let's say satisfied. Satisfied over the last 6 months. And we have to qualify satisfied. We're never 100% satisfied. So you might want to say, I have been fairly satisfied over the last 6 months. I have been, instead of been, maybe we want to change that to I have felt pretty motivated. I have felt pretty motivated and worked and have been working as a team member. Not as a team member, but as a team player. You are a team member, but you work as a team player. Hold on a second, sorry. Okay, so there you can see one correction I made. Yeah, I still can't get the screen share to work. Let me try again. I don't know what you see on screen right now, but it's probably not what I'm showing you. Okay, so that was one correction I want to make. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close all the windows on my computer except the Hangout. Maybe that will fix everything. Okay, so what do you consider your most important achievements in the last 6 months? You read your answer and I'll help correct it for you.
I have found some software problems on the simulation software.
Okay. My question is that an achievement? It probably is, but how is that an achievement? Are you analyzing the software for problems? Is that it?
Yes.
So in your analysis, you were able to detect problems that were not obvious. Is that right?
There was a problem on the software, and we were trying to find out.
Okay, good.
It was a difficult problem to find out.
Okay, very good.
Search a long time, and at the end I could find out.
Okay, it's good. I would just change one thing to make it more clear. You know what? I'm going to have to re-enter the Hangout because my computer is totally frozen right now for some reason. So if everyone can wait a second, there's some connection problem I'm having too. I'm gonna be back in just a second because I need to restart my browser. Okay? Okay. Because everything seems like it's frozen. So give me just a second. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this without closing the Hangout. Oh, wait, maybe I got it fixed. Oh, wait, I got it fixed. Finally. Okay.
Hello. Welcome
Yes.
back.
Okay, it seems like it's working. Just remind me never to share my browser again. Never to share my screen. It's not working. It's still acting weird, but it's better. So I would say, I can't write for some reason, Ishmael. It's my computer isn't working. But let me just tell you the correction. Instead of saying I found the problem, I have found some software problems, I would say, just to be more clear, through hard work and dedication, our team was able to detect previously undetected problems, and that has saved the company money, or try to mention the result. But instead of saying I have found, which is good, you want to say that it came through a concerted effort. Through hard work and dedication, our team was able to find previously undetected problems. Through hard work and dedication, our team was able to find previously undetected problems, because I assume you're working with a team, right? It's not just you.
Yes.
Okay. So I would change it like that. Instead of just saying have found, I would say we were able to find, and I would qualify it by talking about your work ethic too. And this is good. This is a good achievement to mention. Very good. Finally, 2 questions. Which parts of the job interest you most? Tell me about that.
It is open to innovation.
Got to be a little more clear here. What is open to innovation? The job? What do you mean? What's the IT stand for?
The job, which I did.
Okay. But look at the question. Which parts of the job interest you most? So when you say it, I wasn't sure what you meant. So here you might want to be clear by saying, in general, remember that key expression we used earlier? In general, this job or my position here is open to innovation and not so simple. You are learning every day. You are learning new things every day in this position.
Yes.
Right? So I would add, I'm sorry I can't rewrite this for you right now, but I'm just going to explain it. In general, the job is open to innovation. In general, the job is open to innovation and not so straightforward. You can say simple, but straightforward is maybe a better word. It means that there are unexpected challenges. And you are learning new things every day, which keeps you on your feet, keeps you on your toes. That's an expression which means that you're always expecting the unexpected. It keeps you on your toes. So that might be a good way to be clear in number 3. And finally, how could your performance be improved in your current position? Talk to me about that, Ishmael.
I can improve my English.
You can or you could? You can improve or you could improve? What's the better word here?
I don't know.
I could. I could. I can. I am able.
Yes.
I could. I probably will do it in the future. In other words, you're giving someone the opportunity to make a suggestion for you if you say could. If you say can, it's just about your ability. It's about yourself. So
Jon-Eric is called the past version of can.
Could is 2 things. It is the past of can, and second, it is a conditional word that talks about the present. For example, if I had money, I could start my own school, for example, right now.
Yes.
So it's a hypothetical present as well as the past of can. Both of them are good, both of them. Here, could is the better word.
Yes.
Because it's hypothetical. And so I would say, I could improve my English, and I would be open to having further training through further training on the job if an opportunity arose. I could improve my English to be more efficient at my job, and I would be open to the opportunity for training if it arose, if it came up, if it happened.
Yes.
Okay? So those are a few corrections and suggestions that I would make for yours. Here's what I would suggest, Ishmael. I would suggest, I'm not going to have time to rewrite these for you, but I would suggest replaying this video later, just the ending, and writing out those suggestions, because we're going to use your appraisal in the next thing we do. We're going to actually use your appraisal. You're going to discuss the appraisals with each other. So it might be good if you rewrite them according to those suggestions. I think we have time to look at one more. So I see that we've got Giuseppe and Yuki here. I see one from Yuki. I see a bunch from okay, I see Yuki and Giuseppe. Okay. Let me see how I can do this quickly. Do this, Ishmael. If you do you understand what I'm saying about rewinding the video later and
yes,
trying? Okay.
Jon-Eric, after class, I am going to listen again the same class.
Right, just the ending, not the whole thing, of course, just the ending. Okay? And then what you can do then, Ishmael, if you rewrite it, you can send it to me through the message system in Verbling, and then I'll make a final correction, and I'll put it in our notes. That way we can use it in the next activity. Okay?
Okay.
And I'll do the same for Yuki and Giuseppe. I'll do the same for both of you. I'll take, but what I'd like to do is just let's discuss it before we do it. We've got 2 or 3 minutes here, so just to finish up class. And Alessia, if you want to send me one, you can send it to me as well.
Okay.
Okay? But let's just take a quick look at Yuki and Giuseppe in the last 2 minutes or so. And what we're going to do with these appraisals is then, in the next class, you're going to take each other's appraisals and you're going to have a short meeting where you discuss your performance. You discuss how the employee feels about his or her performance, and you're going to make some suggestions using the key expressions that we learned today, earlier in the class. Okay, so these appraisals are going to be used tomorrow. So Giuseppe, how have the last 6 months been for you?
I've got through easily with the customers, and then I'm very satisfied about what I've done since I joined the company.
I've got through easily. When you say get through, do you mean that you communicate with them easily?
Yeah.
So then you have to say, I've been getting through to the customers easily. So it's get through to means communicate easily.
Okay.
Get through to the customers. Maybe with yours, and I see the problem is my time is a little limited. I'm not sure if I'd have time to rewrite these. Let me make some suggestions. You can send me your corrections, and then I'll make a final correction. So I've been getting through to customers easily, and get rid of then. And I'm not very satisfied, but just either you're satisfied or you're not. Instead of very, if you want to qualify it, you could say I'm quite. I'm quite satisfied about what I've been doing since I joined the company, if you're talking about the action, the actual day-to-day work. Or what I've accomplished since joining the company. If you want to talk about your overall achievements, there you would use the present perfect. So if you want to stress your day-to-day work, what I've been doing since I joined. If you want to stress your achievements, what I've accomplished since I've joined. Let me see. Because the problem here is that I have a class. I'm going to run out of time. Let me just take one from Yuki, and then I think we're going to have to stop. And what I'll try to do is I'll try to correct these sometime between now and tomorrow. So just one from Yuki before we go. Yuki, how have the last 6 months been from you? Good, bad, or satisfactory, and why?
It was quite bad.
Uh-oh.
Yes. There is a room for improving in job routine.
Okay, great. And is there something specific in the job routine that you think you're having trouble with? Is there something specific that we can talk about? When you say job routine, that means you get up at 8, you get to work at 8:30, you check your email, you have a meeting. That's your routine, what you do every day.
And there is a room for correction in job process.
Okay, so that means how you do your job, right? How you do your job in the process. Here's one suggestion I might make. You don't want to say quite bad unless, I mean, you have to be careful because you don't want to be negative in business English. So you have to say it in a less direct way. So you have to say the opposite of what you mean. What's the opposite of good, Yuki? What's the opposite of good? What's the opposite of bad, Yuki? Good, right? Good. So you have to say not so good rather than
not so good.
Right. Rather than not bad. So it has not been so good. It has not gone so well, actually.
It was not so good, but I've learned a lot.
Right.
I think there is room for correcting in job process. Oh, teacher has gone.